The next question is shuffle the array. Okay, so let's see what the question is. So in this question we have been given an array nums consisting of 2n elements in the form x1 till xn, then y1 till yn. Okay, so total elements are 2n. Return the array in the form x1 y1, then x2 y2 till xn yn. Okay, so how can we do this? Suppose that the array is 2 5 1 3 4 7. What we have to return is 2 and 1, I mean 2 and 3, then 5 and 4, 1 and 7. Okay, so that means basically x1 y1, then x2 y2, then x3 y3. Now this is nothing but n by 2 plus 1, right? Or if I take n here, n is the 2n, since it's 2n, this is 1, if this is 1, this is n, right? This is n plus 1, right? This is n plus 1. So first what I have to store here is the first element will be the I is equal to 0. If I take variable I, okay, I is 0, whatever is that I is equal to 0, that will be stored here, and here what should be stored is I plus n. So in this case I is equal to n is equal to 3, so we have 2n elements, which is 6. If n is equal to 3, what is the I plus n? 0 plus n means 0 plus 3, which is 3. Okay, 0 1 2 3, third index, this should be stored here. Okay, and then we'll be incrementing the to the next location. Here what should be stored is I is equal to 1, this one, and here what should be stored is I plus n, means 1 plus 3, which is 4. Okay, in the fourth location 4 is there, so that will be stored here. Then I will increment to 3, this will be stored here. Then here what will be stored is I plus n, which is 3 plus 1, I mean 2, right? 0 1 2, 2 plus n, which is 5. In the fifth location we have this one, right, in the index 5. So that will be stored here. In order to increment like first location, second location, third location, we have to use a k variable, right, to keep the k count from 0 to n, to n. Okay, so let's see the answer. First we'll create an array answer here, which will have the double length of nums, and initially k is 0, so k will initially run from 0, it will run till n minus 1. Okay, 2n minus 1. Okay, or we need not run till 2n minus 1. K will run from 2n till 2n minus 1, but we are not concerned about it. What we are concerned is I will run from 0 to n, because if I is running from here to here, simultaneously we are initializing this value with this value, this value with this value, and this value with this value, right? So that will be very it will just run till half, means half of the array, that much size only it will run. Okay, so answer of k is equal to nums of I. So answer of k here nums of I, then k will increment to 1. Here what should be stored? Nums of I plus n. Nums of I plus n is nothing but 3. That will be stored here. Then I will then k will increment. K will point to this one. I will also increment. I will become 1. So I is 1 means 5. 5 will be stored here. It will increment to this point. In this point, what should be stored? This plus n means 1 plus 3, which is 4. Okay, so that number is stored here. In that way, we'll traverse till the half array, which will simultaneously store the next half, and finally we'll have this whole array. Okay, so this is the code for it. Let's try to submit it. So this code works here. It has shown the correct answer. So let's move on to the next one. The next question is kids with greatest number of candies. Okay, so let's see what the question is. Here the question is that there are n kids with candies. You are given an integer array candies where each candies of I represents the number of candies I kid has. Okay, so basically it's an array in which each kid, how many candies he has, that is given to us. For example, if you take this array here, 2 3 5 1 3. So kid 0 has 2 candies, kid 1 has 3 candies, kid 2 has 5 candies, and so on. Okay, and will be given with another variable extra candies. Okay, that is 3. Now what we have to find out is, if I give the 3 candies to the 0th kid, what will be the total number of candies the kid will have? He will have 5 candies, right? Now compare 5 with all the other candies. Is 5 greater than or equal to the greatest number here? Yes, it is. So I'll return here true. Then give the 3 candies to the next kid. 3 plus 3 6. Is 6 the greatest element or equal to the greatest element here? Yes. So I'll write here true. Okay, and same thing I'll do for here also. It's true. When I do here, 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, is 4 the greatest element or equal to the greatest element? No, so I'll return here false. and this will be done for this also, which is 6. Since 6 is the greatest element in this array, I'll be returning here true. Okay, so this is the array finally which we'll get, which will return to the program. Okay, so to accomplish this one, what we'll do is we have to create a boolean array here, which will store the true or false values. Okay, so I've written here the this is the syntax for creating a boolean array or a list, since you have to return a list here. Okay, and we have a max variable here, which will store the maximum candies which the means among all of these, which kid has the maximum candies. Okay, that number will be stored. How we'll do that? Here we'll run a for loop from I is equal to 0 till candies.len. So it will run till from here to here. Okay, and the greatest number will be stored in maximum. Okay, how we'll do that? Candies of I will be compared with max. First max will be 0. So if candies of I is greater than max, max will become candies of I. In that way, finally we'll get 5 as the maximum value, and then we'll run a for loop. In that, what we'll do is we'll add candies of I and extra candies. Okay, we'll add candies of I, which means the first number of candies that will be added with extra candies. If that number is greater than the max value, at that time it means true. So it will add if it's true. If this answer will return as true, true will be added. If it returns as false, false will be added in answer. Okay, that will be done till from I is equal to 0 till candies.len, and we'll be returning the answer. Okay, so let's try to submit this one. So I'm getting the correct answer here. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next question is number of good pairs. Let's see what the question is. In this question, we have been given an array of integer nums, and return the number of good pairs you have to do. Okay, means you have to return the number of good pairs. And what is a good pair? A good pair means pair I comma j. If I is less than j and nums of I is equal to nums of j, then it is a good pair. For example, in this array here, can I find 1 here with any other location? Yes, 1 is here and here, so that's one good pair. This second good pair. Here 2 I cannot find. 3 I can find here. That's the third good pair. And the fourth good pair is this one and this one. So these are the 4 good pairs. So basically what we are doing, we are running a for loop here, right? C will keep the count of number of good pairs, and we'll be running a for loop from I is equal to 0 to nums dot length minus 1, because if we have to run till this point only to compare the next one, and j will run from I plus 1 to nums dot length. So j will for the starting point, I will be running from 1 to 3 1 to 1, and j will be running from the next point to, means from 2 to here. Okay, so what we are doing is 1 will be compared with these many elements, then 2 will be compared with these many elements, then 3 will be compared with these many elements, and so on. And each time what we are looking, we are see, for example, from 1 we are starting, right? 1 will be compared with 2, then 1 will be compared with 3, 1 will be compared with 1, and so on. Wherever we get an equal, means both the numbers are equal, we'll do C++. Okay, that means the count will be incremented for that good pair. Okay, so finally we'll return C after running this loop. It will have the total number of good pairs. Okay, so let's try to submit this one. So it's showing me the correct answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next question is how many numbers are smaller than the current number. Okay, so we have been given with an array nums, and for each nums of I we have to find out how many elements in that array are smaller than it. For example, if I consider this array here, how many numbers are smaller than 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first number will be 4. How many numbers are smaller than 1? None of the numbers, so it's 0. How many numbers are smaller than 2? One number is smaller than 2, which is 1 here, and this is not considered. And how many numbers are smaller than 2? The same thing, 1. How many numbers are smaller than 3? 1, 2. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3 digits are smaller than 3. So I've written here 3. Okay, so how to do that? First I'll create a variable n in which I'll store the nums length, means the array's length, and that much length only I will create another array, and here I have some variables, okay, which I'll be explaining now. First I'll run the loop from 0 to n. The second loop will also run from 0 to n. Each time I'll consider one number. So for 8 I'll be checking is nums of j less than nums of I, means if it's not equal, means 8 will be compared with 1, 8 will be compared with 2. Whenever the next number is smaller, I'll increment c. After incrementing the c value, after this loop gets over for the first element, in the first location I'll store the value of c. Then I'll repeat the same process for all the elements. Okay, so let's run the program and see. So I'm getting the correct answer here. Okay, so let's move on to the next one.